Now at 6, we're learning more about the 13-year-old shot and killed in his sleep in Gresham.
You never think something like this will happen so close to where you live.
This morning, we're hearing from neighbors.
Catholic churches around Portland today will hold Mass in honor of Pope Francis. We'll share what some leaders say they remember most about the humble Pope.
President Trump reaches the century mark today. A look at what his administration has accomplished and what the latest public polling says after the president's first 100 days in office. Plus.
Local singer one step closer to winning The Voice. Why Adam Levine decided to keep her on his team for the live shows. KGW News at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We have Ashley Grams filling in for Chris McGinnis again today. Rod Hill holding down the fort there in the Weather Center. So, Rod, how long is this rain we're seeing right now going to stick around?
Well, it's 6 o'clock right now, and we think somewhere in the 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock hour at the latest, the majority, if not all of the rain will exit the valley. So this is an early into the mid-morning rain event. Nothing stormy, no wind, just some needed rainfall to start our day. It is right now raining across a good chunk of Washington. Also, we have some rain through the gorge and areas of eastern Oregon. You can see there's a little break right now just west of parts of I-5, but generally up and down from Salem to Portland to Longview is still very solid rain. We've had some rain out in the gorge as well. There's the early morning cloud look from the Dalles where it's 55 degrees. There's the low cloudiness, the fog up in the west. Those are the rain falling over Portland, 52. And from Providence Park, you can clearly see the raindrops illuminated with the stadium lights. So mainly dry at noon and then increasing sun this afternoon. So it turns into a nice day, 57, 67 at 5 p.m. Here's Ashley.
To look at that rainy commute for you, we're going to start here in North Portland. This is I-5, not far from the Interstate Bridge, and you can definitely see the impact here for drivers. And, you got to remember 3 weeks without any rain and keep those windshield wipers going. Here's a look on the west side. This is Sunset Highway at 217. Things moving right along this morning. Here's Interstate 84 at 53rd Avenue. And I will have a reminder in just a few minutes for those of you who use the Hood River White Salmon Bridge. There's some bridge maintenance that could impact your commute. Guys.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. Two churches in Portland will hold Mass today to honor the late Pope Francis.
Thomas Schultz joins us from one of those churches, St. Mary's Cathedral in Northwest Portland. So, Thomas, what have Portland Catholic leaders said about Pope Francis?
Well, they say that the Pope lived a more simple life. That's from the Archdiocese of Portland, and they say that he really made the papacy his own. Bishop Peter Smith with the Portland Archdiocese says that Pope Francis was always warm and welcoming, not only to those closest to him, but to worshipers as well. Francis lived a humble life, choosing to live in a modest apartment and paying for his own hotel rooms. Throughout his decade as leader of the church, Pope Francis championed the needs of the sick and the vulnerable. He also shifted the church's view to become more accepting of the LGBTQ+ community. And Smith says Francis always made a point to be with the people as much as possible. Since his death, you've seen that outpouring of love from many, thousands of people who have traveled to the Vatican to pay their respects.
He was approachable. This is one of the things in pastoral ministry that's important, is that you're approachable for people and people can connect with you.
And here in Portland, Mass will get underway here at St. Mary's in Northwest Portland at 6 o'clock tonight to honor and to worship Pope Francis. And there's also going to be another Mass ceremony at the University of Portland in North Portland, where they're asking community members to come and gather to commemorate and memorialize the Pope beginning at 4 o'clock today. Guys.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us this morning there in Northwest Portland. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage of the passing of Pope Francis and who the Catholic Church will choose for its next Pope. We also have the entirety of the Pope's funeral available to watch on our free TV app, KGW+.
Still developing this morning, investigators are looking for the person who shot and killed an 8th grader while he was sleeping. Police say the 13-year-old was hit from a stray bullet Sunday morning after someone fired shots inside a neighboring apartment that went through a wall. We have now learned the victim was Liam Spanley Bailey, a student at Rowe Middle School. We talked to some of his neighbors Monday.
I mean, something this aggressive, definitely not anything I've ever seen. I mean, we've had police over here before, but nothing like this. And my little brother is 13 years old, and if something like this were to happen to him, I'd be absolutely heartbroken.
The second person also hit by gunfire. They were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive.
We're also hearing from the mother of another Gresham teen who was shot and killed last month.
Catherine Cook spoke with her about the case and the family's special request.
At Main City Park in Gresham,
Junior went there since kindergarten.
Sylvia Garza remembers bringing her son, Junior, to this playground.
He had the biggest heart ever.
In January, that little boy turned 17.
Birthday boy.
It would be Junior's last birthday.
My son is not here anymore, and it's really hard to accept that.
On the night of March 18th, police say someone shot and killed Junior near Southeast 136th and Stark. Sylvia says Junior had been visiting friends and was heading to his brother's house when it happened. She can't describe her loss.
Everything about him was just amazing. Like, nobody can ever compare anybody to Junior ever.
Police tell us they're actively working the case, but haven't made any arrests.
Just trying not to let his case go cold, trying to be patient at the same time, but it's hard.
Also hard, the unexpected costs of laying Junior to rest.
He is missing a headstone right now.
Sylvia organized this fundraiser for anyone willing to help her family afford a headstone, a purchase she never thought she'd have to make in a place where other parents are dealing with the same kind of grief.
I know there's a lot of cases right now that are just unanswered. It's too many kids are losing their lives.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Meanwhile, this morning, Multnomah County's district attorney is firing back again about the county's latest budget proposal. Nathan Vasquez says some of the cuts in the proposal would deliver a serious blow to his team's fight against retail crime.
So as part of a $3 million budget reduction, Vasquez says that he'll be forced to cut an investigator and prosecutor assigned to retail theft. Now, Vasquez says without them, big investigations targeting organized crime rings will have to be scaled back.
DDA Turner is routinely meeting with retailers across the metro area. She's routinely working with law enforcement to do these coordinated efforts. That stuff goes away because when we start losing funding and our ability to really fund these positions, we're looking at core services.
Multnomah County faces a $7 million budget shortfall. The county chair said that cuts are being shared across many different services. The final budget is expected to be approved in June.
Law enforcement made several arrests during a mission last week to make the Max Red Line safer. Transit police and sheriff's deputies teamed up last Tuesday, focusing on the stretch between the Gateway Transit Center and the airport. They wound up arresting 22 people, issued warnings to more than 40 riders, and banned 5 people from ever riding TriMet again.
The hazmat team was called out in Vancouver Monday when an electric scooter caught fire. This was in a field just off of 107th Avenue in the Burton Ridge area. The fire started in the battery. Once it was out, the hazmat team soaked the scooter in salt brine to cool it and discharge the battery. Vancouver Fire says smoke produced by battery fires can be toxic. They add if you have an electric scooter, be sure to only use approved batteries and do not leave them unattended when they're charging.
Weather headline this morning, many a slick brick at the square in downtown Portland. Yeah, those bricks are wet. It's been raining for the last few hours in downtown. Not heavy rain, but rain like we haven't seen on a weekday coming into work, Rod, in, I think you said 3 weeks now.
Yeah, 3. So we had some rain Easter weekend, you may recall. But in terms of a Monday through Friday weekday morning, April 8th, that was a Tuesday 3 weeks ago. was the last time we've had a wet start to our workday. How about that? It's been that long. Here's the Wells Fargo camera. You can tell, yeah, the sun is now up and it is cloudy and the cloud deck is low and the raindrops are falling. We're at 52 degrees, literally not a breath of wind up and down the valley for the most part this morning. We're upper 40s to about 50. There's 50 in Vancouver, downtown's 51, Gresham, Westland, all at 50. Wilsonville, good morning to you. And there's Kaiser and Salem also setting at 50 degrees and Albany's at 51. Everybody's got rain. Temperature March through your morning hours. This does push us up to 60 degrees by 1 o'clock today. The rain chances, most of what we're going to get today should be out of here by 9 a.m. it looks like. Futurecast shows that. Here's 9 a.m. on Futurecast. Dry in Portland, rain exiting Salem, and then eventually we'll see increasing sunshine as we get rolling through this afternoon and then completely clearing out overnight tonight. There may be a push of some low cloudiness or fog tomorrow morning. Otherwise, Wednesday looks all sunny. Back to today and 5 o'clock on the map. Now, understand from Central Oregon to John Day to Baker City and Burns, showers will be lingering this afternoon before you folks see your raindrops end. Your highs will primarily be in the 50s. Then with the drying and the increasing sun this afternoon up and down I-5, we'll all bust up into the 60s. So a wet start and then a dry, sunny finish, 67 later today. 73 tomorrow, 84 on the first day of May. And then the next system brings in increasing clouds on Friday with a chance of rain that may or may not hold off until Friday overnight into Saturday. And that is your update this morning. Back to you.